Okay, we are back. Well, not quite back because One Piece is still on break, and this is just a prediction video. One Piece chapter 1005, to be exact. Now, there are a lot of ways we can take this one. 1000 to 1003. I mean, even before that, I think from 997 to 1003, my favorite stretch of chapters in One Piece in a long time, right? Like, it's been, like, we've had good chapters here and there. Like, I'm talking about, like, amazing chapters in between. But we've had a stretch. That stretch was just some of the greatest stuff in One Piece that we will remember for a long time. Then we got to 1004. Not a bad chapter. I want to clarify that. Not a bad chapter, but it's different and not comparable to those previous chapters, but very important, if not more so, because the formula, right? One Piece sometimes can be formulaic, where it's like, okay, these fights have to wrap up, and then we get to Luffy's fight. Luffy's fight has to be the final fight that's going on. The other fights wrap up, and Luffy's fight is the final fight. Now, I wonder if things are going to be different here, because they mentioned how important the executives were, and how they have to fall. Because if Kaido falls and the executives don't fall, it's for naught, right? It doesn't mean that they're going to lose. Like, everybody, all the executives have to fall as well. So I wonder if Oda could change things, right? Throw a curveball where Kaido falls, but then the executives are still fighting. Where this would be a contrast thing where Luffy's done and Luffy's knocked out, he's tired, and they're still fighting for him because the major things are done, but they have to wrap it up with King lurking, Queen, Jack. So that would be interesting to see if Oda does that. What happens in One Piece chapter 1005? Well, we'll talk about it. But I want to say, if you're here for the first time, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We do this damn near every day. Drop a like as well, because that would be greatly appreciated, and it helps out the channel a lot. So thank you so much, okay? But 1005. So like I mentioned, 1004 we left off with the other guys, pretty much. We're not on the rooftop anymore, as much as I would like to go back. We're not on the rooftop anymore. We're circulating. We're going from scene to scene to scene. Now, I mentioned just the importance of different areas in regards to what's going on, and Oda understands that. So a lot of the important things that's going on, Oda did not show. Well, that's misleading. I think the more important things other than what's happening with the rooftop, Oda did not show. And then that's not to say the things that were shown are not important. It's just that I think those other things might have a slight priority. Now, what Tama's doing is imperative for the fight in the alliance because she's shifting the tide. I think somebody mentioned how Tama and her dumplings, right, as the Viz calls them, not a Kibidango, the dumplings, they're like the goal board, right? Where on the goal board that they showed, they were encircling, and Tama with the white dumplings is kind of evening the playing field, which I think is a cool thing for Oda to do and tie in. So that's really important. So I don't want to dismiss that at all, right? Tama is very important, but I care about other things a bit more. Like Frankie and Sasaki, that's important too, but I care about other things a bit more. Sanji and what's going on with him, very important, not because of what's going on at the moment, but because of what Sanji could possibly do in the future. Sanji is one of our best fighters. Sanji being stuck here is a huge detriment to our alliance. Huge. Because he's stuck with Black Maria. Now, Black Maria, we're not sure exactly what she can do, but she's a flying six member. We have Queen roaming out there, right? We have King. We have Jack, right? Among other people. What's going on with Yamato as well? Like, what's going on with her or him, right? How are we going to figure out what's going on there? But I think most importantly, in regards to just hype and possible story expansion or filling in the gaps, because you know Oda does it, fills in the gaps and expands, right? It's like he puts more in and then it grows, right? Gives you more information, but then because of the information he gives you, it leads to some more questions. And that goes back to Jinbei and Who's Who. Didn't see last chapter. And we cannot forget, there's also Perospero, Carrot, and Wanda. We haven't gotten to that in a while, but that is still going on. Yeah, Big Mom just Big Mom left Perospero, right? With 2 enemies, well, 3 at the time, because Marco was still there. But Big Mom just left him. And you know what's funny? I was thinking about it when Big Mom said to Marco, I don't have enough homies to deal with you. And seeing what she's doing on the rooftop, where basically she has a heat-seeking lightning instead. Like, she has, you know, the sentient lightning, and she's doing all the different attacks. Like, she needs her souls. So in that instance, she understood just how important the fight on the rooftop was going to be, which is, I think, a slight difference in how Big Mom initially felt about Luffy. Because remember, Big Mom called Luffy like a speck of sand, right? She didn't take him seriously. Even after he won and left Whole Cake Island, she went and she didn't think much of him. And her reserving souls for that fight tells me one of 2 things. One, Big Mom started to respect Luffy and the Alliance a bit more. That's what it's telling me. I don't know. That's what it's telling me. Or 2, Big Mom is saving her souls for someone else. I'm not going to say who, Kaido, right? I'm not going to say that she's going to betray this man, but I think it's something we should consider, right? Because that was a very interesting thing. She just let Marco go. I cannot spare any souls right now. Pedo! Shoot him down. So just something to keep in mind there. So Jinbei and Who's Who. Very interesting setup where Oda is telling us that they know about each other. Like Who's Who knows about Jinbei. Right? And based on portrayal, ambition, this should be the most intense fight other than the rooftop. Unless Sanji runs into Queen or King. As we get deep into the story, and we're fighting right now. Like we're actually throwing hands. I feel myself refraining from power scaling a bit because the toxicity is becoming too much, right? I see the dissension that people are having when it comes to Zoro and Sanji because of what Zoro is doing and because of what Sanji is doing. Where sometimes people are scaling what Sanji is going to do based on what Zoro is doing right now. Where I've seen it to the point that people are saying, well, Sanji probably goes on to beat Queen and King. Both of them? The setup makes more sense for me in regards to Sanji fighting King. I think it's a great matchup, but I would like to see an anti-manner kick course versus Queen. And we've seen it before. Sanji did it on a large animal. I can see Sanji pulling that out with the raid suit, Diablo Jambe, anti-manner kick course versus Queen. I'm not going to get into the back and forth debate with Sanji and Zoro because, you know, we love them both. But it's a stark difference. Zoro fighting Yonko, Sanji beating up on Queen. However, it's equally as important because Zoro's not fighting by himself and Sanji is beating up one of the top executives. Let's move away from that. We expect Sanji to do something. In 1005, I do think we get the resolution to Sanji's thing, where Sanji escapes, right? We get Nico Robin, because Nico Robin, I believe, is right there. She helps Sanji escape. Sanji goes on. We don't see exactly what he goes and does, but he leaves, right? We go back to Perospero and Wanda and Carrot. We see what's going on there. Some dialogue, some more dialogue about Pedro. Would like to see that. Right? And of course, the Jinbei and Who's Who stuff. Now, people are speculating that Jinbei and Who's Who, that whole thing is based on Who's Who and who he really is. Now, people are saying it's Deuce, Ace's right hand. I mean, the character design is completely different from what we've seen initially. But if it is Deuce, would I like it? Yeah. Is it kind of out of nowhere? Yeah. But we know Who's Who was subjugated by Kaido. A former pirate captain, didn't really want to be under him, it seems like. And I think there's real hate for Queen. I think Queen was the one who beat him back in the day. And I think there's real hate there. A Jinbei and Who's Who matchup I'm really excited for. I mean, seeing the Saber-Tooth Tiger in action, I'm really excited for that. And, you know, for Jinbei, he's a fan favorite, but he's kind of like an underrated fan favorite, right? Where Jinbei has done a lot for us in the Straw Hats, and sometimes it goes overlooked, where we don't appreciate it as much as I think we should. But I'm happy he's here. I'm happy he's joined the crew. Now, people have been saying that, you know, Jinbei could die here. No way. Oda did not save Jinbei from Whole Cake Island to bring him to Wano to kill him off. No way. But a tragedy has to happen. We cannot forget what's going on in the treasure room with the Scabbards and another individual. Now, I've seen a lot of people say this individual is Izo. People, Izo was on the rooftop as well, okay? It's not Izo, all right? So in that case, I think for sure we get some more around that, and that goes back to, is it Toki or Hiyori, right? I'm not entertaining the Enel stuff. It is really clear that it's not Enel, right? It makes no sense. People are saying, well, never say it doesn't make any sense, or don't say that it's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible. Okay? Huh? Anyway, Toki or Hiyori, which one? Now, I went back and I reread some Toki stuff, and every time it's shown, it's saying that Toki said herself that this was her final destination, being with Odin, being in Wano. She said in Wano, that's her final destination. Now, technically, she's still in Wano. Even if she jumps to the future, it's still her final destination. But something that's important that I think we have to talk about is the fact that Toki received a letter from Odin and tore it up. What does that mean? Right? Of course, she sent the scabbards to the future, 20 years into the future. Would it make sense for her to go into the future as well? Maybe. I do think her role in the story felt a bit limited, but I do understand Oda's path in regards to limiting Toki because of the power she holds. Where it's like, when we first got introduced to the time fruit, it was like, this could break the story. It could. Oda's handled it, I think, well, really well. So for him to kind of just move away from Toki immediately is great. Now, of course, we're wondering, where's her devil fruit? But that's another conversation. However, Toki's a possibility. Hiyori's much more likely because we know she's somewhere. She didn't want to see the scabbards until the battle was over because, you know, that's just how it is. And now, I mean, their battle is over. I mean, they're pretty much done. And for her and her connection to every one of them, especially Kawamatsu and Denjiro, it makes sense for her to be there to try to nurse them back to health, at least, right? Her being the daughter of Odin and trying to help them to carry on her father's legacy. I would like for it to be Toki because that's more interesting, but it's more than likely Hiyori. Like right now it's like 80-20. 80, 19, I'm not gonna do that. I was about to say 80, 19.9, then 0.1 for it. No, we're not entertaining it. 80% Hiyori, 20% chance is Toki. Again, I want it to be Toki because it's way more interesting. There are other things going on, right, with Chopper. What's going on there with the healing. Apu's still around. X-Drake is still around. And CP Zero is there. I don't think they make a move yet. I think they're not going to make their move until Kaido and Big Mom are close to falling, where they could jump in to help them. But for them, it's like about taking out the pirates. They're like, okay, just take each other out. I think they're there to possibly just arrest Kaido and Big Mom. But it's murky. We're not sure what their role is going to be at the end of it. Because people are saying, well, arresting Kaido doesn't make sense. Like, they've done that before several times. It didn't work. Why would it work now? Well, he's never been beaten. He's not going to be ever beaten before like he's going to be beaten now. So, or he's never been beaten before like he will be beaten now. So, that could be a thing. But for the most part, for 1005, I expect a resolution for Sanji stuff. And I made a video about Sanji and how we shouldn't worry about him. He's fine. I expect some Jinbei and Husu for sure. Like, that has to happen. Like, we have to see what's going on with them. And we haven't seen Wanda, Carrot, and Perospero in a while, right? And recently in the popularity poll, which I'll talk about this week, Carrot has been getting a lot of hype. And they released the official updates in regards to where these characters are. So I'm really excited to talk about that because there's some really interesting stuff. But we have to get back to Carrot. If people really feel like Carrot could be joining the crew, Wano is not supporting your theory. Yamato is much more likely. And we're going to see what's going on with Yamato. Remember, we still have to see her devil fruit. I wonder if we're going to see another chapter because remember last chapter on the rooftop, it was like Kaido went hybrid. I wonder if we see a chapter where all of them go hybrid, from Kaido to King to Queen to who's who, right? Where it's like hybrid. That'll be dope. Where we finally see Kaido, then we see all of the other hybrid forms. But yeah, guys, I expect another great chapter. Again, coming off a break, expect like 2 or 3 chapters, no break. So, you know, just wish Oda the best health so he can stay healthy and we can get our chapters so Wano can possibly be resolved this year. I'm starting to think that the fighting may be done by the end of the year, but there may be an epilogue, like some more information to be received at the end of it, which may go into 2022. Guys, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BrogDAce. Follow me on Instagram, brogd.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Guys, like, subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost.